I'm terminating your employment with the branch manager's authority, effective today. Thank you for your hard work until now."
On the verge of retirement, I had moved away from the hectic front desk operations to handle quieter back office tasks. The new, young, and dynamic branch manager, branding it as Reform, began to dispose of anything and anyone deemed unnecessary or in the way. Not just objects, but jobs and people too. "I don't understand why I'm being fired," I protested, to which the branch manager replied with an exasperated tone.
"You're in the way, just lounging around at your desk, doing menial tasks anyone could do, and acting all important. It's irritating to watch."
The manager spouted such absurd reasoning shamelessly. So, they were just menial tasks that anyone could do leisurely. If it was an official order, then I guess there was no helping it. I decided to follow the manager's directive obediently. A week later, I received many calls from the bank. "My name is Robert. I'm a bank employee, often working behind the scenes. I'm currently 51 years old. I've stepped back from the busy front desk operations and now mainly handle small administrative tasks. I also assist long-standing customers occasionally. Watching the young employees hustle at the front desk reminds me nostalgically of my younger days. Working leisurely on minor tasks, I have no prospects for further promotion and am just waiting for retirement. But I've grown to like my current role. It's a calm way of working that suits an employee nearing retirement. In fact, most employees around my age at our branch gradually start to scale back their workload. Many retire early to enjoy their later years. Whether for early retirement enjoyment, family matters, or various other reasons, spending time with family, looking after grandchildren, it seems like the right time for a lifestyle change. Just the other day, a branch manager retired before reaching retirement age. He wanted to take care of his family back home. Today, we're getting a new branch manager as his replacement.
"Hello everyone, I'm assigned as the new branch manager here from today. My name is Mark. Looking forward to working with you all."
Mark, the new branch manager, greeted the staff energetically during the morning meeting. He looks about 10 years younger than me. Dressed in a crisp suit and sporting an expensive-looking watch. His eyes were shining with determination. His intense demeanor made me think following this guy is going to be tough.
Oh, you there. Can you give me a tour of the branch right away?"
Me? Sure, I'll show you around.
"Thank you. Everyone else, please start your usual tasks. Don't mind me, just carry on as normal."
Mark approached Susan, a young female employee, and started touring the branch. The rest of us, including myself, got on with our usual tasks.
"Excuse me, what task are you working on?"
Suddenly, a loud voice from above startled me. "Whoa, you scared me." I accidentally blurted that out. Looking up, I saw Mark, arms crossed and looking somewhat disgruntled, with Susan glancing over in a puzzled manner.
"What's this?"
Mark asked, looking at my work. I honestly replied, "I'm checking and entering application forms." Mark then sighed heavily.
"Honestly, I've never seen such a laid-back workplace before."
He complained with a look of utter exasperation. By laid back, you mean?"
"Exactly as it sounds. At the branch I worked at before, no employee would spend time on such tasks. I'm surprised to find employees specialized in back-office work here."
Checking and entering documents may not be a big job, but it's necessary. In tasks involving large amounts of money, even small mistakes aren't tolerated. I think someone has to do it. I don't know how it was at his previous branch, but was there really no one doing back office work? I almost retorted that, but it felt too bothersome. So I just responded nonchalantly, "Is that so?" and forced a wry smile. Susan, who was anxiously watching, seemed pitiful. I thought if I let it slide, Mark would just leave, but for some reason, he stayed and seemed to be contemplating. Then, with a decisive nod as if having made up his mind, Mark started speaking to no one in particular.
Decided, starting tomorrow, this branch will undergo a reform.
The next day, true to his word, Mark began implementing reforms at the branch. First, he replaced almost all the equipment in the office with new ones. I wondered where the budget for that came from. Then, he increased the workload of the younger and mid-level employees, especially at the front desk. The clerical tasks that used to be sent to the back office were now less frequently assigned to me. Thanks to this, the peak-age employees who were already busy seemed even busier than before.
Once I achieve the reform of this branch, its sales will increase even more. This will benefit all the employees, and I'll climb higher too.
Mark was overheard saying this excitedly to the younger employees. In reality, since his arrival, the young employees' sales performance had improved slightly. Maybe it's the result of Mark's Spartan-style leadership. As for me, watching Mark and the young employees, I thought to myself, being young is incredible, as if it didn't concern me. So, I never imagined that this reform would turn against me. One day, Mark called me to his office. I was surprised as he hadn't spoken to me since his first day. "Do you need something?"
Yeah, I'll keep it short since I'm busy.
He said that as he thrusted a piece of paper at me.
With the branch manager's authority, I'm terminating your employment, effective today. Thank you for your hard work until now.
"Yes," I responded, tilting my head reflexively in confusion. Mark's loud voice meant that other nearby employees could hear my sudden termination notice. The surroundings began to buzz with whispers. I thought I had misheard, but the document clearly stated it was a termination notice.
You'll be compensated for your services accordingly. We'll handle the difficult procedures, so please pack your belongings and leave.
Mark spoke rapidly, then turned away to return to his work. I was utterly confused, so I confronted him. "Wait a minute. I don't understand why I'm being fired. Have I done something detrimental to this branch?" Despite my stern questioning, Mark didn't look at me and said,
We'll properly offer you a retirement package.
"That's not what I'm talking about. I'm asking if I violated any employment rules or made any major mistakes. This is wrongful termination." Mark sighed wearily and finally turned to face me.
You're violating your duty of dedication to your job. Bank officers and employees must be aware of their public mission, conduct their duties with integrity, and strive for smooth processing. That's in the regulations.
"How am I violating that? Please be specific."
This is tiresome. You're not keeping up with the new equipment and systems, still using the old ones, causing delays in work. Don't you see?
Mark ranted impatiently. "Have I ever delayed any work deadlines? I don't think I've caused any delays in work."
It's wasteful how young employees have to teach you to use the new equipment or wait for your verification on everything. It's hindering smooth operations.
That's an outrageous accusation. Anger seeping in my voice, Mark clicked his tongue and stepped closer, intimidatingly looking down at me.
You're in the way. You are.
Mark said that, almost spitting the words out.
While other employees are bustling around, You're just lounging at your desk, doing menial work that anyone could do, sitting back after finishing such trivial tasks. It's irritating to watch.
Mark, not even trying to hide his malice anymore, was unreservedly harsh in his words, despite speaking to someone older than himself. I'm neither lounging nor sitting back arrogantly, so basically, you want to fire me not because I'm a detriment to the branch, but simply because you're annoyed with me. I found myself responding calmly, even in the face of Mark's irrational logic.
Think whatever you want. Layoffs for staff restructuring aren't uncommon. If you're gone, we can hire more competent, younger employees at the right time.
Mark responded with a snort.
Excuse me, but I think a dismissal without a rational reason counts as an abuse of managerial power. Besides, the back office work, which was Robert's responsibility, was a task assigned by the previous branch manager and was supposed to continue this fiscal year.
Susan, who had been anxiously observing our argument, interjected timidly. Following her, other employees started murmuring in agreement, whispering, "That's right, it's an abuse of power."
Then, from this very moment, back office work is abolished.
Mark shouted out loud, not caring who was watching. Thankfully, it was after business hours, and no customers were around.
I'm the branch manager now. The previous one might have tolerated it, but I don't need incompetence in my branch. If anyone else objects, you're fired too. There are plenty of replacements.
The other employees quickly averted their eyes. But only Susan kept looking at Mark, albeit shrunken in fear. If this goes on, Susan will be his next target. Realizing this, I took a deep breath and, with a calm smile, said, "Understood. If the task is being abolished, I accept the dismissal." Everyone, including the surrounding employees and Mark, were momentarily stunned by my sudden acceptance of the order. However, let me give you one piece of advice. Everything you've said and our entire conversation has been heard by other employees. Everything. So, please make sure you have no regrets.
Regrets? What are you talking about? It's good that you understand. I'm really relieved that you're taking it so well.
That was the end of our conversation. I packed my things that day and completed the minimal handover. It was extremely disappointing to leave the bank I had worked at for over 20 years in such a manner. But as I was leaving, the employees I had worked with for years expressed their sadness at my departure. Some even shed tears. Despite their pleas for me to reconsider, I replied, "I appreciate your sentiments," and went home. A week passed. With no job to go to and no need to wake up early, my sleep schedule was irregular. One day, I woke up around 10 a.m. Picking up my phone, I noticed dozens of missed call notifications. All of them were from the bank I had been dismissed from a week ago. What's this about? I wondered, but before I could ponder further, the phone rang again. Reluctantly, I answered the phone only to be immediately greeted by a familiar shouting voice asking, "What in the world is going on?" So loud. "Is that you, manager? What's this all about?"
What do you mean? What have you done? Tell me the truth.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Start from the beginning. As I asked for an explanation, Mark began to tell me about what had happened over the past week. A few days after I left, major clients started canceling their accounts. The internal back office operations were on the brink of collapse, barely functioning. Throughout his explanation, Mark sounded panicked, but honestly, I couldn't care less. "That's why I warned you," I muttered, astounded. Back when I was a newbie at the bank's counter, lacking confidence in my abilities, I spared no effort to improve my communication and interpersonal skills. As a result, I could handle even the most difficult customers or explain complex issues without trouble. The customers I occasionally served in my 50s were all long-time clients who relied on me. They trusted me more than any other employee for my clear and concise explanations. Among them were many of Mark's so-called major clients. Wealthy people are cautious with their money. They don't entrust their assets to a bank with interest-worthy people. That's why I always prioritize trust with clients. In just 1 week, he managed to ruin the trust I built over 20 years. I was beyond anger or sadness. I was just dumbfounded. I don't know why all the major clients left at once, but what do you mean by back office work on the brink of collapse? Isn't it easy and leisurely work that anyone can do? I retorted with a rare touch of sarcasm, mirroring the words Mark had previously used to me. I know all too well that back office work isn't as easy as it was made out to be. I was determined to let him know. As I approached retirement, turning 50, I had moved away from the front desk operations to handle nearly all the processing tasks that other employees couldn't manage. Each task, though simple on its own, amounted to a tremendous volume of work, taking as much time and effort as the front desk duties. Spending all day with numbers and documents is more tiring than one might think, and many give up after a few days. Living alone with no particular hobbies, finding joy solely in work and constantly learning new things, perhaps I was an exception. Regardless, I've always believed there's no such thing as an idle task in a bank.
How pretentious! You must have bad-mouthed our branch to your clients out of spite.
Absolutely not. As a professional, I would never say anything that could damage the branch's reputation for personal reasons. I merely sent thank you letters to the clients who had relied on me for years. I had been in the process of handing over my clients to younger employees like Susan. When clients visited the bank, I would sometimes appear to assure them, "Please trust them with your business after my retirement." When Mark ordered my dismissal, I wrote personalized farewell letters to each client, explaining the reason for my departure. I was dismissed for a rational reason, wasn't I? For neglecting my duty of dedication to work. I simply informed the clients of this and apologized.
What? So that's why the clients are all saying they need to reconsider their association with us. You shouldn't have interfered.
The content of my apology for my own negligence doesn't violate any duty of confidentiality or reputation maintenance. Informing them of my retirement and my successors seems only natural. It may sound inappropriate, but I was really pleased that many clients were angered by the unfair treatment I had received. Perhaps they thought someone like me could never violate my duty of dedication to work. It felt like validation for my earnest efforts.
Just come back immediately. You have to take responsibility for this mess.
What are you talking about? You dismissed me a week ago. I'm no longer an employee there. Instead of wasting time on this pointless conversation, why don't you get back to your work?
That dismissal notice was fake. You're still an employee here. Consider the past week as paid leave and return to work immediately.
Mark, in his arrogance, was then confessing to document forgery. I was almost speechless at his shameless and hysterical behavior. You've been quite loud. Isn't it business hours? Aren't you alarming the customers? As a bank employee, shouldn't you refrain from such behavior? I tried to remain as calm as possible. After a moment of silence, Mark's voice softened.
Please, just come to the bank. I'm begging you.
Later, I visited the bank as requested. In the manager's office, Mark was joined by senior bank executives. Mark looked haggard, a shadow of his former self. He was likely reprimanded by the higher-ups. First, I received apologies from all the senior executives present. Unanimously, they said, "We want you to come back. I appreciate your trust, but I can't work under a manager who casually engages in wrongful dismissal and document forgery."
Understood. So, if the branch manager changes, would that resolve the issue?
Just as I was about to agree, Mark crushed over to me and deeply apologized.
Robert, please, I didn't realize you handled so many major clients. I apologize for my rude behavior. Please don't let me be fired.
Despite his change in attitude, Mark's volume and intensity remained high.
Manager, please a bit quieter. Your voice can be heard from the client area.
As the office door opened, Susan entered with tea, accompanied by one of my longtime major clients, Wilson from Wilson Real Estate.
Robert, Susan always speaks highly of you.
I apologize for the disturbance. He greeted me with a polite nod. He is my longest-serving client, and also the father of the bank employee, Susan.
I've heard about the situation from Susan. I'm sorry for what you've been through. This prompted me to rethink where I keep my assets. I'm here to handle some procedures with Susan.
It seemed Wilson was here to close his accounts. It was regrettable to lose such a long-standing client, but it was understandable.
However, I overheard that if the manager changes, you might return. If that's true, I'd be confident in entrusting my assets to you again.
Whether Wilson's words influenced the decision isn't clear, but ultimately, Mark was promptly dismissed. Mark was confronted with a genuine dismissal notice, not a forged one. As far as I was concerned, his future was none of my business. With his banking experience, I thought he wouldn't struggle to find another job, but it turned out not to be so easy. Wilson, a prominent client, had accounts at various banks around the area and, under the guise of casual conversation, spread the word about Mark's actions. Mark became blacklisted in the banking community, being rejected for employment everywhere he went.
A client isn't bound by confidentiality.
Susan casually remarked, echoing her father's words, which I found a bit intimidating. I heard through the grapevine that Mark is now getting by with part-time jobs. I sent greeting cards to my clients, explaining my return to the bank. Even those who had closed their accounts upon my dismissal quickly reopened them when they heard of my comeback. This experience taught me the importance of transitioning responsibilities to others. I'm now actively mentoring the younger employees. They are all eager to learn and take responsibility. It's incredibly fulfilling to still be needed and able to contribute at over 50. With the new goal of nurturing the next generation of bankers, I'm experiencing exciting days, youthful enthusiasm notwithstanding.
Hey old man, this floor is for confidential stuff, no outsiders. Isn't your cleaning company's office downstairs? Go on, get.
These young employees are so bold now. I just thought to myself, even if a nearly 60-year-old man on the verge of retirement suddenly shows up at the headquarters, it's no surprise the young staff don't recognize who I am. My original appearance doesn't matter. I'm just here to do my job. I'm John Smith, in my late 50s. For an average salaryman, approaching 60 years old typically means nearing retirement. The company I admire develops online games. It started as a tiny room with just 2 computers and 2 people. That small company has now grown into a towering skyscraper as its headquarters, with the top floor shining so bright it's almost blinding. Called back for work, I was concerned if I could fit in among the many young employees who joined in my absence. I'm sorry. I wasn't blocking the entrance. I was just standing off to the side, out of the way. The path was wide enough for people to pass by. Although my pleasant morning was somewhat disturbed, I politely nodded to the man and stepped aside.
Country hick. Don't just stand there like an idiot.
He spat out as he passed by, clicking his tongue loud enough for me to hear. I then entered the company building using the employee badge I had prepared in advance. I think the development department is this way. Not usually visiting the headquarters, I found myself lost in a building filled with similar-looking rooms. Then, I saw the man who had insulted me at the entrance. Noticing my gaze, he quickly recognized me and said,
Hey, you. This floor is for confidential work. No outsiders allowed. The janitorial office is in the basement. Go there now.
The man probably thought I was a janitor by looking at my clothes. He made a dismissive gesture with his hand. Oh, no, you've got it wrong. I'm not a.
I'm busy here. Just go do your cleaning job.
He interrupted, not bothering to listen. He glared at me, making sure I left the floor. My apologies. My outfit today was a casual jacket and a plaid shirt. No tie, which probably made him think I wasn't an employee of this company. Resigned, I decided to move as he instructed. When I tried to use the elevator, he quickly grabbed my hand off the floor button.
Hey, you. This isn't your personal elevator. Use the stairs,
he said with a smirk. I felt irritated at his relentless mockery, but showing anger would just play into his hands. I forced a smile and replied, You're right, my mistake. I said that, and then I checked the man's employee badge. It had Mark Brown written on it. Mark, huh, I'll remember that. I thought I'm jerk, but I gonna keep remember his name and face, and committed to taking the stairs. I realized that with my age, descending so many floors was quite a task. The first few steps felt like good exercise, but I quickly started panting. I stealthily stepped out into the hallway, finding myself in the cafeteria. This is a relief. I'll take a break and then make a call. I ordered an iced coffee and drank half of it in one go, just as my phone rang. Hello, this is John.
Hey, where are you? I've been waiting for your call. When you get to the station, let me know. I'll send the car to pick you up.
Oh, right now I'm.
Where are you now?
I started to respond but stopped myself. Since it was a rare visit to the headquarters, I thought